Hello, shiny happy people. Welcome back to my channel. I am the Cinema.Sewist, and on this channel, I am creating a cinematic wardrobe utilizing a little bit of creativity and a whole lot of dedication. Now, my dedication has shifted slightly. As you may or may not see by the background, I'm in a new space. I have moved more or less successfully. No, it was successful. I mean, the move was successful. I have unpacked and now I am actually ready to get back into sewing. However, I must tell you that this background from my new sewing studio is going to drastically change, hopefully within this week, because I'm planning on renovating this whole space this week, which means all the chaos that you see going to move out. Then I'm going to renovate everything, move everything back in. And this was the only way that I could kind of logically do this. I could have renovated the space before moving in, but there wasn't enough time. I didn't have the headspace to decide on colors and wallpapers and all of that. So I decided on all of that after moving. I have the wallpaper. There's going to be wallpaper right here behind me. And yeah, that's what's going to happen. So the next video you see, which is then hopefully, I didn't even mention, this is going to be the show and tell video for June. I was planning on making one for May, but now we're at the end of May and I haven't sewn anything so far. However, my beloved baby is unpacked and ready to go. And yeah, this is going to be a show and tell for June now, which is not tragic. It's only a little tragic, but we'll get to that in a second, because I have a couple of things to go through with you. I am going to show you what I'm planning on doing in June. And there's going to be actually another video and show and tell, but this is going to be my Minerva brand ambassador make for June/July. So we're getting all of that in. Anyways, without further ado, let's get right into it, shall we? Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to make is actually something that is also going to be related more to the new sewing studio. And that is, I need a new cover for my ironing board. Now, my ironing board, the cover still looks okay. I'm going to pop up some pictures right here. But I don't like the overall look of it. And a few months back, I want to say, it's been more than half a year, definitely, I did actually put a new cover on my sleeve ironing board because that looked really horrible, like really, really horrible. And it was in a size that I couldn't even get a replacement. So then I was like, okay, I make my own. And now I'm like, let's do this for the ironing board too. Yes, I could buy a new cover. They're not really cheap. I think around $25 a piece, at least. That's like the cheapest one, because I have an extra wide ironing board. And also I'm like, I have fabric. If there's one thing I have in this household, it's fabric. Shocking. And therefore I have decided to make my own ironing board cover. Now I have a fabric. This is, I think, an Alexander Henry. Yes. Alexander Henry Fabrics collection from 2014. And it's called Fantastico Frida, which, as you will see in a second why it's called that. It's going to be this print, which is Frida Kahlo, which is my favorite artist of all time. And yeah, I'm hoping this will look a lot brighter also. If I like one thing, it is having a pop of color, like something that is, yeah, it's a little bit like dopamine all around you if you see bright colors and yeah, while working, especially while ironing, because ironing is not the greatest task on the planet, let's face it. And yes, this is the plan number one for this one. So this is not something to wear, but something very useful. And I think it's great that I get some use out of this fabric because I had it for a long time. I did make some cushions out of it, which was actually one of the first projects I ever made. And afterwards, I was contemplating making a dress with the rest, all of these things. By now, I just think make an make a cover for your ironing board, and then we'll see what else I would like to make. Maybe a Presley shirt with some patchwork work. We'll see. We'll see. But this is going to be project number one. Now, moving on to number two, this is going to be a rather quick project. And again, this is something I feel I need more than I really crave. And that is a little bit of a background story for you. Usually, when I have the time in the morning, I like to go for a swim. I do like to get some swimming in if I can. It's good for the shoulders, good for the back, good for everything. And what I like to do essentially is just throw on a kaftan over my bikini, and then I can just go over, do my swimming, come back. It's it's easy maintenance. You don't have to fuss around. It's just, yeah, it's super easy. And I found, well, let's flip it back. I did make two kaftans last year, I think it was. No, it was the year before, actually. It was the year before. So it's now 1.5 years ago. And those were great. They were self-drafted. I just checked a couple of YouTube videos and I just winged it and it was perfect. And funny enough, one of the fabrics was so cool. It actually looked like a kaftan that Liz Taylor wore. So I had like the comparing pictures side by side. That was really cool. But ever since then, especially that kaftan is really worn out. Like I was wearing the kaftans technically daily. By now, I'm not swimming daily anymore because of time restrictions, but I'm still wearing them regularly, and I definitely need a new one. Now, I was checking on Mood fabrics, and the cool thing about Mood is they don't only have an online shop for fabrics and trims and notions and everything, but they also have I think it's called Society, um, where they offer very regularly new free sewing patterns. So they have like a plethora of sewing patterns out there. If you are interested in checking that out, I will leave the link below for that site so you can check it out yourself. And I did discover the Cassandra kaftan dress, which picture, and I was like, yeah, I could do that. Let me just try and make a kaftan with a pattern because I wanted a kaftan dress that looks a little different to the ones that I've previously made. And so I think this is a good alternative. I will do a couple of tweaks because I don't have enough fabric to make the kaftan dress as it is intended from the pattern. But yeah, let me just show you the fabric first. This is, I think it was from Fabric Lore, which is an Indian company. And weirdly enough, I did not see really the same fabrics anymore. They've changed quite a bit, and I haven't ordered anything from them anymore. At the beginning, it looked very interesting because they were inexpensive, and the two other kaftans that I made previously, those fabrics were also from Fabric Law. However, when you consider the shipping and everything, it doesn't really add up. However, this print was so beautiful, I needed to have it back in the day, so I could show you quickly. And it is hummingbirds, and this is a viscose, which is the other thing. So you were able to get like inexpensive viscose fabrics, which is great. The only downside about this one is, and that's why I don't get the kaftan dress as it is intended from the pattern is that it's fairly narrow. If I hold this up, you can see this is the full width. It's not a double width. It's like, I think it's a 40-inch width. So it's pretty narrow, and it's already pre-washed. Therefore, the edges here, you can see it has gone through the wash. I have a good 4 yards of this, and I will get a good sized kaftan dress out of this, but it's going to be 8 inch shorter than the intended length, which I find too long anyway. I was holding it up against me, and mind you, I'm 5'11". I was like, this is almost going to the floor. If I go out for a swim, I don't want to drag the dust and the leaves around with me. And so I think 8 inches I can trim off and it's still gonna look good. And yes, this is what it's gonna be. This is going to be a kaftan, which is supposedly a very easy project because it's like a kaftan. A kaftan is super beginner friendly for one. And the second thing is it comes together so quickly. It's actually kind of rewarding, and I feel this would be also a project that is great for getting back into sewing because you have like the instant gratification of a finished piece. And yeah, so that is this piece. And the good part is this is a fairly large chunk of fabric that is then going to disappear from my fabric stash, which is not bad. All right, next up, I'm doing this a little bit out of order. I don't know if I'm sewing the stuff in the order that I'm presenting it to you, probably not. But these are the plans that I have for June. And let's get into the probably a little bit burning topic of the Make 9 for 2024, which, as you may have noticed, I have not even started yet. I'm doing even worse than last year. Last year, I started with the Tony Monero, and that was in March, April. Now we're at the end of May. I have not sewn a single piece of my Make 9. And I want to rectify that. Now, I'm going a little bit with the low-hanging fruit in this regard. So what I am going to make is the first two, which are supposedly the easiest ones. And I'm only going to show you parts of the fabric. One fabric I cannot find at the moment. I will find it, but I couldn't find it for this video. So the first one is going to be Scandal and Sorrento, the Sophia Loren look. And these are the fabrics. If you look closely, you might recognize this one from last month's sewing adventures. And then there's this one for the top. But I'm going to get to that in a separate video when I'm actually making this, because this is a Cinema after all. And then I'm going to make the Foxy Brown / Coffee Pam Grier look. And at least I found the fabric for the pants. Could not find the paper rifle fabric for the blouse, but I'll find it. You're gonna see it in that corresponding video. And the easiest way to keep up with my sewing adventures, of course, is to subscribe to my channel. So make sure you do that. Give this one a thumbs up if you feel this is useful and entertaining information for you. So, but you're going to see in the corresponding Cinema, you're going to see both fabrics. So these are the Make 9, and I'm going to make both of them in the month of June, which is very ambitious. But I feel I need to get cracking on the Make 9, and I feel those are the most doable ones in that short time span. So there you go. The next one is, again, something that I want to make because I feel I need to make it rather than just wanting to make something out of fashion. And that is a new exercising / training catsuit. Now, I really like catsuits, especially for running, weirdly enough. I like a one piece where I don't have to fumble with two pieces and yeah, while running, they are great. And I was thinking I need a new one, and I need one for a change that I did not copy from an existing one. So the previous ones that I've made, and if you follow me on Instagram, you may have seen those. Those were based off a catsuit that I actually bought years ago, and I still have the original, but I just copied it from a made up piece. And this time I would like to try and make a new one from a pattern. And again, I'm consulting Mood Patterns for this from Mood Society. This is the Camden onesie. I'm having the printout version right here. I still need to tape this together. I could show a picture of what this is going to look like. This is a catsuit, but with shorts instead of full length pants, leggings, however you want to call it. And I have decided to give this one a try, especially since we're now coming to the heat of summer. I would like to give shorts another go, even though I have very strong thighs, very strong legs. And the biggest problem I have usually is that shorts roll up on me, which is very annoying. That's why I just wear long pants for working out. But I'm giving this another go. We'll see. Maybe this is nice. Maybe this is going to look great. Who knows? But I have a fabric that I bought from, I forgot the name, so I'm gonna pop it down below once I find the name again. This is a lycra spandex, and I saw this and I found it epic, so I decided to get it. Look at this. I mean, if this is not happy colors all over, then what is? I don't even know, is this the right way up? It looks like feathers, but I think it's not feathers. It's just a pattern. Just a very bright Carnival in Rio type of pattern. And I have, if I'm not mistaken, 2 yards of this in total. Yeah, it looks like 2 yards. And I'm planning on making the Camden onesie plus a new training bikini because, yeah, again, swimming. So I need a new one. The training bikini is going to be the Tonica bralette. Again, I love that pattern. And the panties I need to see. I might just trace another one of the bikini I had previously. I'm usually just using that. I took it apart and I use this like as a template for all of my bikini bottoms. Maybe I try something else. You will see, but definitely the Tonica bralette for the top. And I'm trying to get 2 Tonica bralettes out of this because one I would like to have also for training for yoga and whatnot. Let's see if we can get this out of 2 yards. Typically, I get my long catsuit out of 1.3, 1.4 yards. Oh yeah, it's an experiment. I'll let you know when I'm done how much use I got out of this piece of fabric, or let's say how many pieces I got out of there. How strategically frugal I can cut this. Right. Something else, something completely different that I've decided to make pretty much because it is something that is useful, for one, and second of all, it is something that I could not fit in anywhere in my stash where I was like, okay, I can stuff this in this drawer and it can sit here and live for a while. So I'm like, how about I make something that I'm gonna wear and then it's out of my sewing room. And that is actually leftover fabric. So this is something, yeah. I usually have, if I'm buying too generously, I usually have a fair amount of leftover fabric. And then the drama starts. What am I doing with this? Am I throwing this away? Which I'm against. I don't like throwing stuff away. But then I'm also like, what am I going to do with this? And this is one of the spoon flower fabrics that I got. It's a jersey, and I made the Francie sweater. No, I made the Francie sweater dress by Gertie. So I added the skirt to it, and I wore this for an ugly Christmas sweater party actually in the office, and it was so successful that I actually won third place in the contest, not for ugly sweater, but for prettiest of the uglies. So goes to show you, I didn't look that ugly at all in this thing. But this is the leftover of it. It's the little Christmas pinups. And I have so much left that I was first like, what am I going to do with this? What am I going to do with this? And then it hit me, if I can get this out. This is an experiment. It might be that I tell you in the next video, look, this didn't work. I didn't do it. But I'm thinking it might work. I am planning on making another pajama set. The shorts from the Friday Pattern Company, plus the Tonika bralette again. And I'm going to call this Christmas in July, because I will probably wear this in July without any hesitation. Yes, I'm wearing a Christmas print in July. Whatever. It's a gorgeous print. Look at this. Look at those pinup girls. So cute. Yes. So there is a plan for that. And this is also going to be a very quick sew. It's going to be like maybe a day tops for another set of PJs. And the last piece I got one more. This was rather spontaneous while I was looking for the fabrics for this video. I saw this and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna make this. And I'm gonna make it now, because screw it. It's like, I want this done, and I had a specific idea for this fabric. So I'm just gonna make it, because why not? And I could even wear this in summer, I think. I think it's gonna work. Anyway, this is a fabric that I got again from Mood Fabrics. This is actually a dead stock from Oscar de la Renta. I know, right? Dead stock fabric. And if they still have this, I'm going to link it down below so you can also check it out. And I did see a dress. I saw this dress, and apparently it was at least the same style worn by Jane Mansfield and Marilyn Monroe. But that one was just navy and white striped. This is going to be a little bit different because it also has gold in it, and I'm going to show you quickly. So this is the fabric. It has lurex obviously in it because of the gold stripes. And I'm going to try and recreate that dress, which might be well, it could be a little Vogue episode. Maybe I make a little Vogue episode just to keep things as interesting, and just to show you how quickly you could maybe make a Marilyn Monroe / Jane Mansfield style dress. But yeah, this is what I spontaneously now cut out of my stash, and I was like, yep, I am going to make this now, because I like this sort of, this also has a lot of, well, of course, a lot of the Jean-Paul Gaultier, this Parisian, I don't know, it has that certain vibe, right? And the sailor vibe a little bit. It's like this theme of yeah, of the sea, of summer, of whatever. And so I think that's why I want to make this. I am intending on making the skipper dress, which is another pattern by Gertie from her Patreon. But I'm not going to make the skipper dress. I'm actually going to make the Barbie top with the skipper skirt, and then add the turtleneck extension from the Barbie top. And that should give me that look out of this. We'll see. I'm gonna experiment. So the theme of this month is experiment a lot and regret nothing. So even if things go wrong, I'm not gonna regret anything, because that's also what sewing is about. It's a little bit of an adventure. You try stuff out, some work, some experiments don't work, and it's just about having fun, right? Yeah. And on that note, that's all I have for today. Again, if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. It really helps me. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of this. And yeah, I'll report back probably then end of June with the results. However, there's going to be another video once the fabrics, yes, it's plural, arrive for my Minerva brand ambassador make. And if you want to comment down below how much of a problem I have with fabrics, sure, I do. I really do. I have an addiction when it comes to fabrics. I like fabrics. It's just really cool to experiment with fabrics and get creative and try something out and make it completely your own. I heavily enjoy that since childhood. So this is something that is not going away. And yes, I do have a stash beyond life expectancy. It's just what it is. I've accepted that, and yeah, there you go. All right, whatever you do, I hope you get the fullest enjoyment out of it. And I will see you again very, very soon with more makes and made over space here. So looking forward. All right, that's a wrap. Take care. Bye-bye.